Good evening, everybody. Today is 7/11. I love this day. It's July the 11th, and I love the number sequence 7/11. So I'm happy to be bringing you an update today. Some really good things happened today. I worked from home, and I was also able to simultaneously replan my upcoming travel. This is a little bit of a story time, so grab a snack, buckle in for a bit of a chatty update, bit of a story. I am in a bit of a funny mood. I had a really great workout today. I wanted to just give you an update on my travel. I know that the last segment you would have saw literally would have been showing you the backpack that I'm going to be bringing. And I said that I was going to go to India and Nepal. Well, that's changed. Life just changes. And this is one of those things about rolling with the punches. In the end, everything worked out. But when I first made this discovery, it was quite disappointing at the time, but also a little bit frustrating. So let me just stop being around the bush. Basically, I'm no longer going to India. That's the announcement. I'm not going to India anymore, but I am still going to Nepal. Basically, what I discovered is that the Indian government has put up sanctions against Canadians and people from the UK due to political reasons. This sanction, which affects me because it affects any Canadian that wants to travel to India, means that it's very difficult for us to go there at the moment. They have blocked us from applying for the very easy to get tourist e-visa. If you're interested, look it up, I guess, but I don't really want to get into that side of things. All that I wanted to know is, what is the other alternative to getting into India? And is it really worth going to India if I have to go through so much rigmarole to get a special embassy visa just to go for about, I don't know, 8 days? And then after doing research on how you have to get an embassy visa, my decision was made. I was like, I don't care how much it's going to cost to change my flight. I am not going to go to India right now. So until India decides to make it easier for Canadians to go there, I will not be going to India. So that really did change my trip, because I'd already booked a tour that was going to take me through India up to Nepal. It's like an overland border crossing to Nepal. So that's how I was getting to Nepal. But now that I was no longer going to India, I had to cancel my spot on that tour. And I also had to reschedule my flight because I had booked a flight from New Zealand to Singapore and then Singapore to New Delhi. Well, I had to call today, and I was on the phone for 30 minutes with somebody to cancel that segment of my flight. Only one segment. I still needed the return flight from Kathmandu, so that was fine. So I only ended up having to pay an additional 40 New Zealand dollars to make that change. I don't know why. I mean, logic to me is like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going as far, so wouldn't that mean that I get a credit? But in the end, I ended up owing money on top of what I already paid to go to halfway to India there and then coming back from Nepal on the way back. So once I confirmed that flight today, I just rearranged my trip. So instead of going to India, I'm now going to Singapore and Nepal. And I have about 7 days in Singapore to explore this really cool place I've never been. I've only ever been to the airport, so now I can actually say that I've been to Singapore. And then after, I've booked a flight from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and then on from there to Nepal. I don't have any time in Malaysia. It's just a quick flight, an hour away from Singapore. It was just the best flight path for me to get to Kathmandu. That's the only thing, is having to get myself to Nepal this late in the game. That was quite expensive. So it really did add on quite another big expense to this trip that I wasn't anticipating, because like I said, I thought I was getting to Nepal by land crossing with the tour, but now that I wasn't doing that through India, I had to make my way to Nepal some other way, and this flight was the only option I had. I did, however, find another tour that was operating within the date range that I'd be in Nepal. Not exactly, but at least it worked with my schedule. So from the 24th September, I will be going to Nepal and joining a tour with a brand new company I've not used before. Well, they're not brand new, but they're new to me. But overall, I guess it just taught me to be resilient, in this world of COVID and everything. You just never know. In this case, COVID didn't impact my trip. It was political government sanctions. Who would have guessed that? That's what I did today. I spent all day doing research and rebooking flights and finding a new tour. And overall, it was a really good day, though. I did treat myself to some takeout for dinner tonight. I mean, it's a Monday. No, I have not heard any news about my residency. Just if you were curious, it's not like I talk about it at all on this channel. Okay, thank you so much for listening to this. Let me know if you've been to Singapore. Let me know what I should be doing there. This is my first time there. I'm excited. So let me know if you have tips. Have you been there? How is it? Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Bye! Hi everybody, I thought I'd come on here and film an update video because this morning I woke up to a very unfortunate email. First of all, today is the 15th of July. It was only a few days ago that I recently replanned my travel for September because I decided that I'm not going to India. Literally Monday, I had just rebooked onto a different tour with a different tour company. I had found new flights to get myself to Nepal. It all seemed to be falling to place. I spent all this extra money to now accommodate my new plans for this trip, and I really did my best to salvage the trip. However, this morning I woke up to an email from the tour company that I booked this new tour with. That's when they hit me with the very vague, kind of scammy email. I've never used this company before either, so it's definitely a risk doing that. You don't know what their service standard is. You don't know how they are to deal with when things like this happen. Essentially, they told me that they've received a lot of cancellations and that my departure date was no longer confirmed, and that I would then need to tell them if I wanted to postpone the trip to next year or if I wanted to change the destination to another country. And I was just like, what? Excuse me? What? You're telling me 60 days before the tour that it's no longer happening? How does this happen? It's still early days. I've literally just replied to them. They're based out of London, so I don't think they'll get to my email for a couple hours in the time change. However, I basically asked for a further explanation of why did you cancel. I also asked for how this is gonna work. What are the cost implications? Because I've already paid them a deposit. Let's keep in mind that the other company I booked for my original tour to India and Nepal, I already canceled with them, so now I have a deposit credit with that company. Now apparently I'm gonna have another deposit credit with this company because of all their non-refundable clauses and stuff, but I honestly did not think that they would be the ones to cancel the tour. So it's all just kind of fallen over a little bit. However, I am trying to be calm. I'm trying not to overreact like I did the last time I realized my travel plans were going to change. I don't want to drain too much more energy on this. I mean, if the trip isn't meant to happen, then it won't happen. And if it is meant to happen, then it will happen. And I know that I've invested thousands of dollars into this trip already, and I haven't even left New Zealand. But I honestly think I'm just going to keep going with my plans to go to Nepal. I've booked specific flights to align with that tour date. I mean, I still have to go ahead with those flights to Nepal, even though the tour is not going to start that day that I arrive. I just want to go to Nepal. I don't know what it is, but I want to go to Nepal. I was feeling slightly uneasy about that tour anyways because of all the trekking they were going to do. So this could be a blessing in disguise, and that's how I'm choosing to look at this right now. My ideology and my beliefs is if things keep going wrong, there's probably a reason for that, and you should just listen to it. So instead of trying to desperately find another tour and change my dates again and try to, wrap myself around other people's itineraries, I'm going to just scrap the tour idea. I originally wanted a tour for Nepal because I thought I would need it just to introduce myself to a very different country with a different way to live. However, none of that seems to be working out, so I'm just going to go solo. I'm going to travel there on my own, and I'm going to independently travel Nepal for 2 weeks. And this is not a bad thing. I know that I can do it. I've experienced enough to go into a situation and travel on my own. I'm going to just leave it up to what happens will happen. So I'm really hopeful that I can still go on this trip and that everything falls into place after this hiccup and that this is the final hiccup. But if more come, I think I'm ready to accept it. When things don't go your way, just pivot a different direction. Don't give up on the entire effort. That's sort of my little update for you today. It doesn't even have to be about travel. You can also apply that logic to something going on in your life that may be a little bit challenging or threw you off guard. I don't know. Hopefully me sharing this experience inspires somebody to also just pick up and keep going. You got this. The other thing I wanted to talk about is because when I was going to India, I had these plans of wearing specific clothing and stuff, so I actually was influenced. I have to admit, I was influenced by an influencer on Instagram. I follow a YouTuber, and she was recently posting about a bikini that she bought, which then inspired this whole shopping thing with a store that I've never shopped at before because it's a UK-based store. The store is called Marks and Spencer. They ship to New Zealand, which is shocking. There were no duties on this. Oh, I have a call. One sec. Sorry guys, I had to go downstairs and collect a second package. I've had 2 packages delivered today, and both of them had to do with the trip, so it all lines up. I think that I was talking about Marks and Spencer's, so yeah, I found this store from an influencer because I really loved her bikini, and I went to the online store to see if maybe it would ship to New Zealand, and it did. So it got here in no time at all. I'm so pleased with that because it literally blows my mind how this package came from a store in England, and maybe 10 days later it's now in my hands in Wellington, New Zealand, halfway across the planet. So I'll show you the first thing. Like, Lord knows I don't need this, but I really thought this bikini was so cute. And I don't really know the sizing at Marks and Spencer's, and I definitely don't know the sizing at the United Kingdom. So I sized up to a 16, which I believe is, I don't even know. But anyways, I sized up because bikinis tend to run small, and it looked a little bit tiny on the website. I'm so glad that I sized up because this is a 16. I just think it looks so small. I'll have to see what it looks like on, but I just loved the color. If I had to describe the color, I would say Aperol Spritz. It looks like the color of that cocktail. So bright orange, kind of like a tomato, reddy, blood orange tangerine, but it's a little bit of a longer fit, and the bikini is sold separately, so I had to buy the top and the bottom separate. Then of course I bought the matching bikini bottoms. It's so funny to me how they left it on the hanger. Now these ones look pretty true to size. They're not high rise, they are just a high leg. So I don't know how that's gonna look on me either. It is a pretty stunning bikini. So this was the bikini that inspired the whole order. After I placed this into my cart, I thought, well, let me have a look at Marks and Spencer's. Let's see what they have. And I ended up finding a few items where in my mind I was thinking, hey, you can wear these to India. They're appropriate for the climate there. But now I'm not going to India. Ironically, one of these pieces is made in India. Yes, these pants were made in India. So the first thing I bought was these really cool wide-legged, call it breezy thin material pants. It's got a cool bright pink color. I think they look quite smart. You can dress them up and down. They have this really wide elastic band in the back, so hopefully that will ensure that they fit. I got these in a 14, and these also are very light, so they press down, they won't take up much space. They're also very soft. Like, I have this incredible urge to rub it against my face. I wasn't planning on buying this. And let me tell you, Marks and Spencer's is not affordable. It's actually quite high end. All of this stuff came to like 200 New Zealand dollars. This dress is gorgeous. Look at this. It's so flowy and gorgeous. I basically just bought it because the color, I mean, this fuchsia pink is stunning, but I also got it because it was flowy and it's got a really long skirt to it. And I also am a sucker for embroidery. This has a beautiful embroidery stitch around as little accents. This is actually advertised as beachwear, but I think with like a little bit of shorts underneath and maybe a tank top, you could actually wear this as a dress very easily. You could throw it on. Very fancy looking. Yeah, that is the little mini haul that I got. We've got some pattern, we've got a bright color, and we've got this awesome bikini. So that's what we've added to my wardrobe lately. I know I just showed you some jackets. Yeah, this happened too. I got this necklace too, the gold one. How cute is that? This is from Country Road. I loved the chain, how it changes. And then in the middle is just this cute little pearl clasp, and that's how you get the necklace on. And I think it looks super cute. Layered even with the silver. Girl. So that's something new as well that I bought recently. And maybe also this leaf dainty bracelet. But I mean, look at how cute that is. Anyway, I love these pieces because they are so small and dainty. I can actually wear them without needing to take them off. So I don't actually take this off. I leave it on. Same thing with this one. I leave this Swarovski crystal one on. I got that one probably a year and a half ago now. And this one I got a few weeks ago. But that is the update for today, guys. So thank you so much for watching this update. Hopefully you found something interesting and inspiring out of this. And I'm always happy to share my journey, ups and downs, everything in between. So I'll see you guys in the next update. Bye! Hi guys, it's the 16th of July today. Essentially, I've just been having a couple tough days. I don't want to gloss over that. I want to capture all elements of this chapter of my life in the moment. Yeah, it's just been tough. It's been really difficult to accept the things that I cannot change. And that is part of a serenity prayer. It is something that I've been really struggling to wrap my head around, this concept. All of the things and the change that I wish to see in my life is all hinging on one thing that I have absolutely, totally, completely no control over how fast or slow it's going. And that's the residency, the big elephant in the room. I have not heard anything. It's been months and months and months of waiting. And I know that a lot of people have waited a lot longer than me, and I respect that. But for myself, this has just been really hard to grapple with, and it's been one of the biggest challenges I've had to face and accept for 2022. I went through a breakup earlier in January, and this is way more something I need to go through and process than the breakup. The fact that I need to let go of the things that I cannot control, that I need to accept the pace that it's going to happen, and that I need to completely surrender and have faith that what will happen and what will be in its own time. Oh, it's been so difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a lot of low moments the past few days. Yeah, it's been an exercise in patience, resilience, and just to stay on the right path, because there's been many times I've wanted to just give up. I know that this will come to a natural conclusion, but it's just, I've been working through that the past couple months, but at the same time, the last few days, with everything with the trip, not wanting to fall into place, that's been hard, but it's also just been weighing on me, because ultimately, I just feel this like ache in my chest. And it's really hard sometimes to push past all of that and just see the bigger picture that, I have such a blessed life, and I really do. Man, it's been challenging. It's been really challenging, and I'm doing the best I can. But like I said, this is the toughest thing for me. I'm gonna go for a walk because that should help. I have to be strong, and I will talk to you guys in my next update. Hey everybody, I just wanted to come on. I didn't want to leave things on that note that I left it on, kind of sad. So I came out for a walk, and honestly, I feel a million times better. If you're ever going through something, just go for a walk, and I'm sure that you're going to find that your mind is just clearer and your mood will significantly improve. So I feel much better now. I didn't want to leave it as I had left it in the last update. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this walk, and I'll see you guys in another update. Bye!